Hello friends and welcome to my channel. This time I will build the American attack helicopter, the Bell AH-1 Super Cobra. For the build I chose the 1:72 scale Revell kit. Basically it's a rebox of the 1987 Italeri kit. Let's see what's inside the box. The kit is molded out of a softer light gray plastic. Some of the details are simplified and the panel lights are in a positive engraving. That comes very often with old Italeri molds. The kit includes weapons like rocket launchers and Hellfire missiles. Unfortunately, the kit includes only an option for a closed cockpit canopy. The wall slide decals look good. They include decals for the two machines and decals for the instrument panel. The instruction manual is readable and easy to follow. On the first pages you can find a short history of the machine in German and in English language, and a colorist for Revell paints. The whole build includes 20 build steps. Each step includes explanations for painting and gluing parts together. You can choose from two machines. The first color scheme represents a Super Cobra from the Marine Light Attack Helicopter Squadron 169, and the second is a Marine Light Attack Helicopter Training Squadron 303. Looks like fun! Let's build this model. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for not missing any new notifications. Since the cockpit is simplified, I decided to upgrade a little bit. The pilot seat are no exception. I made the seat belts out of a Revell 3M masking tape and made buckles from a 0.2mm lead wire. For gluing, I use Loctite super glue. The whole cockpit is painted with a matte black color. After airbrushing, I paint all the small details with a thin paintbrush. For painting details, I use my approved Vallejo acrylic paints. They are best for me so far. After painting small details, I give the cockpit part a proper light gray and metallic dry brush. Next, I seal the paint job with a layer of a glossy varnish coat. For a black cockpit like this, I highlight all the panel lines with a light grey enamel wash. And after it's dried out, I remove it with a cotton bud. Lastly, I give the cockpit a matte surface. Let's glue the cockpit together. All parts feel very good, no problem here. Next, I glue the cockpit to the fuselage and start to glue more details. As usual, I always add additional weight for a good balance. The fuselage assembly looks good so far. The engine part is another story. Before the paint job, it will be necessary to fill it out with putty and sand it. Gluing the engine part wasn't difficult, but the fit isn't the best. There is a big gap showing. It must be filled up with putty also. Unless I come up with something more important, let's enjoy the build. Before I close the canopy, I glue and paint the heads-up display. Now I can glue the cockpit canopy. It's a pity that it's molded from only one piece. Next, I fill all gaps with putty. Some of these gaps are relatively shallow. For these gaps, I use a cotton bud and leveling thinner to remove the putty. For bigger gaps, the putty must dry out. After 5 hours of drying time, I sand out the putty with a smooth sandpaper. Next is masking. I simply use a masking tape, cut it into thin strips, and mask the edges of the cockpit canopy frame. On wide areas of the cockpit canopy, I use a liquid mask. The model will be sprayed in a dirted camo. The cockpit canopy frames are in the same color like the whole cockpit, matte black, so I paint them black. The Super Cobra is ready for priming. Let's begin with the painting. First, I highlight all pen lines and small details with a black pre-shading. I decided to paint the Whiskey Cobra in the second camouflage panel. The desert paint is a mix of 70% of Kunze Sangyo Mysticolor C119 Sand Yellow and 30% of C1 White. The bluish paint is a mix of 70% Mysticolor C307 Dark Ghost Grey and 30% of C72 Intermediate Blue. Since I'm painting the camo, it's useful to paint other parts as well. After airbrushing, I quickly switch into painting small details. Once again, I use vehicle acrylic paints for the job. For metallic details, I must use metallic paints from my huge stash of Mysticolor paints. For a better look, I decided to dry brush some details. Okay, next I seal the paint job with a layer of glossy varnish coat. The Revell decals are good, they don't tear or fall apart. Here is how I apply the decals. Put the decal into warm water for 30 seconds. Then let the decal a little bit dry on a paper napkin, and when it starts to slide from the paper, gently place the decal into the model. For a better attaching, I use vehicle decal fix. After the decal is in place, I remove all the water and air bubbles. At the end, I use a softening chemical to shape the decal into the surface panel lines. Let's see the decals with a layer of glossy varnish coat. To highlight the panel lines, I use a black panel line wash from Tamiya. It's a pity that some panel lines are erased. I will improvise a little bit. Removing the wash is pretty easy. All you need is a cotton bud and enamel thinner. Now I seal the wash with a layer of matte varnish. A matte surface is ideal for oil weathering. I check out some pictures of whiskey Cobras and they are pretty worn out and dirty. To create this effect, I use a mix of black and burnt umber oil paints. I apply a small amount of oil paint and gently add enamel thinner. The thinner thins down the oil paint. With a paintbrush, it paints the oil weathering over the panel lines and create dirty spots. The thinner vaporizes on the air very quickly. When it's done, I add a final layer of matte varnish. Let's create ships with a weathering pencil. I have a big set of AK weathering pencils. They are amazing to work with. Next, I remove the cockpit masking. At the very end, I assemble the model together. And the Revell's 1:72 scale Bell AH-1 Super Cobra is finished. This build was pretty simple and relaxing. I hope you liked this video build. Please subscribe to my channel, like or leave a comment down below. If you're interested to see more of my work, join me on Facebook, Instagram or Telegram. There is a link in the description. Thank you for watching guys, and see you next time.